The following program is a production of HEW Entertainment and contains views, opinions, commentaries, and content that may offend some subscribers of this show. Listener discretion is advised.
It's that time once again for HEW Entertainment Radio.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Hosted by Jonathan Clarke.
You beat the man! You gotta beat the man! Woo!
Be sure to join us in the live chat room during the show.
Hulkamania is running wild like it's never ran before.
Call us on one of our request lines. If you live in the United States, call us at 1-641-985-7800, box number 3729288. If you're from Canada and would like to call us from 1-647-724-4194, box number 3729288. Long distance charges may apply in some areas.
I've been the World Heavyweight Champion 10 times.
Or you can always drop us a line at MySpace, myspace.com/HEW Entertainment.
And you will rest in peace.
Emailing us works for you too. Email us hewwrestling@hotmail.com.
I am a wrestling god. JBL.
And now, without any further ado, here is your host of HEW Entertainment Radio on the official website of HEW Entertainment, Jonathan Clarke.
The champ is here!
Streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. HEW Entertainment Radio is inviting you to comment on our video blogs, join the conversation, and like us. So what are you waiting for? Log on and listen now. Don't miss out on any of the action. Download our app on the App Store, Google Play, and the official website of HEW Entertainment. Once you download and install it, you'll get caught up on news, YouTube videos, and more. Download it now.
was an emotional time less than 2 days ago when Daniel Bryan announced his retirement on Raw after going on Twitter posting a tweet saying that his career had unfortunately come to an end because of an injury that was unknown for a number of months. About 9 months, everybody was trying to figure out what was wrong with Daniel Bryan, and finally Monday he shocked the world with the announcement of his retirement on Twitter. I was never really a big fan of wrestlers going on Twitter to announce their retirement, but I do have a respect for Daniel Bryan for actually going public following his tweet on Raw, which many people have shied away from doing. Usually what we see are wrestlers just going on Twitter and staying behind a computer announcing the retirement rather than going public with the retirement. And I have a lot of respect for someone like Daniel Bryan outside of someone like Bret Hart, who just went on Twitter and announced that he had cancer and he was fighting cancer rather than going public with it after giving us so many years of a wrestling career that so many people still talk about and still resonates out of this very day. Outside of people like Bret Hart, Daniel Bryan is a class act, and it was also announced as the follow-up to his retirement that he's going in the Hall of Fame because people like Triple H believe that Daniel Bryan's legacy has now been cemented, and I agree with the decision to put Daniel Bryan in the Hall of Fame after everything he has done for the last 6 through 7 years. What an amazing career Daniel Bryan is leaving behind, along with a legacy that I think will never be touched and never ever be forgotten. Now, I will be writing a column for In This Corner with Jonathan Clarke on my thoughts on Daniel Bryan's shocking retirement, which shocked the world. So make sure you keep checking back on my website for that. And I will also be elaborating on Daniel Bryan's retirement coming up here next week on the show from my video blog on my YouTube channel, which, by the way, if you have not subscribed to, you can go to youtube.com/JonathanClarke22 and hit subscribe and get in on the conversation about as well, leaving your comments for the video blog that I will be posting on the retirement of Daniel Bryan, which comes as just as much of a shock to me as it does to all of the Daniel Bryan fans out there, which go by the millions. It's really a legion of Daniel Bryan fans out there. The Yes movement definitely was in full force in WWE, and now it has all come to an end for Daniel Bryan, but he said he had no regrets in the final segment of Raw last Monday when he said his goodbyes, and so many wrestlers were a part of this celebration of Daniel Bryan's career and his legacy, like The Undertaker, Kane, Brock Lesnar, so many people who had touched Daniel Bryan and Daniel Bryan had touched, deservingly so, throughout his career, all there in attendance to say goodbye to arguably one of the greatest WWE superstars of this new generation, really a leader, and it's touched so many lives, everything Daniel Bryan has done and will be remembered for. And going in the Hall of Fame with a legend like Sting, I mean, who can argue that fact? I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke, coming to you live on my Facebook page at HEW Entertainment, and the fallout of everything that's happened in professional wrestling over the last couple of weeks. So much to take in. Bret Hart's fight with cancer, Nikki Bella's neck surgery, of course, being successful, and Daniel Bryan announcing his retirement. I mean, so many things happening so early in the year of 2016. I shudder to think what kind of predicament and circumstances we'll be faced with by the time we get to the halfway point of the year, but so much to take in over the last couple of days. How are you holding up? Get in on the conversation and let me know how you're feeling, either emotionally or are you pretty well fine with everything that's happened? Are you content with what's happened with professional wrestling? I don't know how anyone could be content about it, but even if you're emotional, you can leave me your thoughts in the comments of this video at JonathanClarke22 as I bring up my topic for this week, Sasha Banks' future in WWE. And at a time like this, in professional wrestling, I think really what they need to focus on is creating stars of tomorrow, because stars of the future are really what it's going to come down to for WWE. And for months now, wrestling fans have been chanting, "We want Sasha," and obviously they are getting what they want, and even more so now in the fallout of retirements such as Daniel Bryan. You really have to focus on creating stars of the future, and obviously this is what they're finally going to be doing with Sasha Banks. Just yesterday I wrote a column called WWE Pushing Sasha Banks, and I discussed my thoughts and feelings towards WWE finally pushing Sasha Banks after months of putting this off and putting it off and putting it off. Finally it is happening after WWE fans had the reaction they had about how they wanted to see more of Sasha Banks, so sort of what Charlotte and Becky Lynch were doing, and now it seems like Sasha Banks actually has a chance of going out of WrestleMania to face someone like Charlotte for that championship. Now, there's a tag team match apparently that has been announced for Fastlane that will see the team of Becky Lynch and Charlotte teaming up, or Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks rather, teaming up against Charlotte and somebody else. And the winning team, whoever gets the pinfall on that team, I think is how it goes, will be named the number one contender for the championship at WrestleMania 32. So I'm really excited to see how this all plays out, and also how the team of Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, which is the first ever time pairing up of these two divas, will fare at Fastlane, and what kind of chemistry we are going to expect to see
from these two divas. Now, it's no secret, or shouldn't be any secret to anybody, that I was a really big fan of Sasha Banks from her days on NXT, which if you have no idea what I'm talking about, go to YouTube or Hulu, any video-on-demand service on the internet, and watch some of Sasha Banks' footage from the earlier days of her career, because it was a great exemplification of what Sasha Banks is really capable of doing. I have written so many columns, as I just spoke on for my weekly column on this website, in this corner with Jonathan Clarke, talking about my feelings and emotions towards Sasha Banks, and how I felt that her push in WWE had been put on the back burner for far too long. They just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, when it's supposed to be about creating stars, wrestlers, and both divas from the same kind of perspective in WWE. And I think now, finally, only WWE are realizing now, because of all these injuries and retirements we have seen, unfortunately, under the most unfortunate of circumstances, they have to create both wrestlers and divas of the future. Either you're talking about a diva like Charlotte or Becky Lynch, or a wrestler in the way of someone like a Roman Reigns or a Dean Ambrose, who I'm really hoping get pushes at some point in time in 2016. Really proud and excited over the fact they are pushing Dean Ambrose, and I am just as excited over the fact that they are pushing Sasha Banks, obviously, given her appearance at the Royal Rumble, attacking Charlotte the way